The accusations began at 3:47 p.m. on a Saturday, in the middle of the Caldwell reunion. I sat at the far end of a picnic table in Riverside Park, spooning potato salad and trying to vanish. I kept my shoulders rounded. My father stood, beer raised. "Family is everything," he said. "We show up, we support each other, we help each other." He paused, eyes locking on mine. "Most of us do." Aunt Celeste slid right in. "Some people understand generosity," she said, "giving back." Uncle Ray stared at me like I owed him air, and some people only think about themselves. My mother rose, hands clasped. "I'm just going to say it. Our daughter Mara has never helped anyone in this family, not once. She's selfish through and through." Faces turned in unison, cousins, in-laws, the aunt who still pinched my cheeks like I was 8. My pulse thudded loud to feel in my teeth. "When Tessa needed rent," Mom went on, "when Ray needed a loan, when Nana's bills stacked up, where was Mara?" "Nowhere," Dad answered, pleased, "because Mara doesn't care about family." My fork hovered. I could have defended myself, but I'd learned that explanations were just fuel. The truth was messier than their story. Months of calls, dispute forms, and minimum payments on cards I never opened. I was done pleading in public. So I set the fork down and reached for my phone. Me. "Jude, are you close?" Jude. 5 minutes. Federal team with me. Relief slid through me. Quiet, cold, clean. I placed the phone beside my plate and let the smallest smile settle in my cheek. Then gravel crunched behind us, steady footsteps approaching, and the reunion's chatter began to thin into uneasy quiet. A man in a charcoal suit entered the picnic grove, briefcase in hand. 3 agents followed, windbreakers stamped in yellow. He stopped at my table. "Miss Caldwell?" "That's me." "I'm Jude Alvarez." He set the case down and opened it. "Final report on the investigation you requested." Dad frowned. "What investigation?" One agent stepped forward and raised her badge. "Special Agent Dana Price, Financial Crimes." My mother went very still. Jude lifted a thick folder. Over 7 years, 23 credit accounts were opened in Mara Caldwell's name. Total fraudulent charges, $267,000. My stomach flipped, remembering the nights I graded essays with creditors on speakerphone, paying minimums on debts I didn't recognize for years. Uncle Ray's face emptied. Aunt Celeste clutched the table. Agent Price said, "We have federal warrants to execute today." "For what?" Mom asked thinly. "For the arrest of Tessa Caldwell, Celeste Caldwell, and Raymond Caldwell," Agent Price replied. "Identity theft, credit card fraud, wire fraud." Tessa shot to her feet. "That's ridiculous." 11 cards delivered to your address, Agent Price said. "Charges near your home. Device records and footage corroborate." Tessa's voice cracked. "Mara, Agent Price turned. "Celeste Caldwell, 7 cards. Renovation and travel." Aunt Celeste sobbed. "I was going to pay it back." "And Raymond Caldwell, 5 cards. Primarily business expenses," Agent Price finished. Uncle Ray lunged toward me, beer on his breath. 2 agents caught him and twisted him back. Handcuffs clicked, one set after another. Dad stared as they led them away. "Mara," he said, hoarse. "What did you do?" I stood, palms on the table, to steady myself. I stopped pretending this was normal. Silence held after the agents marched my relatives toward the path, cuffs flashing. The smell of dill and cut grass turned sour in my throat. Dad found his anger first. "You embarrassed us." "I corrected the story," I said. "You all kept calling me selfish while my credit burned." Mom's eyes were wet but hard. "You could have handled it privately." "I tried." I tapped my phone. "For 7 years I filed reports, argued with banks, mailed forms, waited months for reversals. I paid minimums to keep my name from drowning. I'm a public school teacher, not a secret millionaire." Jude slid a copy of the report across the table. "Dates, devices, delivery addresses," he said. "It's all there." My sister, Lila, stood behind Mom, pale. "Mara, I didn't know." "I told you I was being robbed," I said. "You decided it sounded like an excuse." Nana lifted her cane. "Let her speak," she rasped, and the command in it stilled the murmurs. I faced the circle of mouths and narrowed eyes. "If you want family, act like it. Ask questions. Don't pick a villain because it's convenient." I left before anyone could grab my arm. 18 months later, restitution dripped in slow payments. My score climbed, and my apartment finally felt like mine. The day I signed for a small condo, I sat on the bare floor, breathing, and listened to the quiet I'd bought with the truth at last, without flinching.